remedy is Arnica montana. Arnica patient is morose, means a bad-tempered, irritable kind of personality, doesn't want to be approached, doesn't want to be talked to, and want to be let alone. And on the mental plan, this is because that he doesn't wish to enter into a conversation. And on physical level, he feels very sore, physical bodily soreness is there, so he doesn't want to be touched. These are the two most striking things in the Arnica. He is irritable, morose, sad, and imagines all sorts of things, as if he has heart disease, or he will mortify, or something dreadful is going to happen with him, and he has nightmares, fears, dreams of robbers, muddy water. A sudden fear of death comes at this time, and he rouses up and grasps at the heart and feels as if he is going to die. Then he pacifies himself. He is full of dreadful anguish. And finally he comes back to himself. He lies down. He goes to sleep. And he goes off a sleep of terror. And after some time again jumps up with a fear and terror and says that call for the doctor immediately, as if he is going to die. This happens night after night. This is repeated night after night in a person who is fairly well in a daytime, and he gains no sympathy from anyone because there is no symptom otherwise. This is only a mental state, and it can happen to those who has gone through a railroad accidents or from shock or are sore and bruised from the injury. They rouses up at night with fear of sudden death and with an expression of terror on their face. The horror they really went through are repeated. This is similar to opium, but the opium fear and terror remains in daytime also, whereas in Arnica it is only at night. When Arnica patient is in bed, sick, afflicted with zymotic disease or a violent fever or a fever after accident or injury, he become stupid, prostrated and in comatose state. He can be aroused, and on arousing he will answer your questions and will go back to stupor. Or sometimes he will not find the exact words, and while answering he will go back to stupor. On the other hand, sometimes in desperate sickness, Arnica patient will say, I am not ill, I don't need a doctor. He is irritated and he insists on nothing is the matter with him. He is fine, he is well, when he is seriously ill. Such is a state of shock that after finishing a sentence, he lies down in a complete stupor. Actually, he doesn't want to be spoken to. He doesn't want to be talked to or disturbed to or touched to. This state ushers in a complaint after a shock that has shaken the whole system and has disturbed the circulation. When a symptomatic typhoid is coming on, that is a intermittent remittent fevers with typhoid kind of state coming on, there is appearance of shiny tongue and sores appear between the teeth, gums and lips. Sores are a kind of black-brown crust that appears in the teeth, gums and lips in serious debilitating diseases in dehydration conditions, and the patient is in stupor kind of state, that mental state which we have already talked just now, when there is sinking and soreness of the body, and Arnica must be the remedy. It will check the progress and will prevent the typhoid state. It is a wonderful remedy. It is misunderstood remedy and misused remedy because it is only limited to bruises and injuries. It is one of the sheet anchors in many seasons, in malarial valleys, in congestive chills, the dreadful attacks that come with great prostration, stupor, anxiety, and in congestion that come suddenly with mottled skin. There is stupor with involuntary discharges. If you will watch Arnica patient, you will see that he is turning and twisting. You will question yourself that why he is restless like rustox. Why does he move? It is an important question to solve. Why he is restless? How will we differentiate between the restlessness of arsenic, rustox and Arnica? We see a painful uneasiness is felt all over the body in rustox, and he cannot keep still and keep on changing the position. Whereas in arsenic, we see there is great anxiety and he cannot keep still. The Arnica patient is so sore that he can lie on one part or one side for a moment and then he has to get off to the other part because of the soreness. If we ask the Arnica patient that why do you change side, he will say that the bed is too hard. This is another way of saying that the body is sore. Arnica patient bleeds easily. There is relaxed blood vessels and easy extravasations. And on outer surface of the skin, we will notice bluish spots easily come. And internally mucous membrane bleed. He is subject to catarrhal conditions, and if he has cough, he bleeds easily. And he hawks out mucus from the chest and throat that is blood streaked, or there is pinpoints of blood. His urine contains blood and there is bleeding from the all orifices. Arnica is a very good remedy for soreness, lameness of joints after injuries, after shock, after accidents, rheumatic lameness with swollen joints, with injuries of the back, with lameness, soreness, and Arnica is a very good remedy in such conditions. Black and blue appearance of sprained joint will go surprisingly in a short time. Soreness will disappear, swelling will go, and he will be able to manipulate with much ease. A high potency of Arnica is most satisfactory, and it is the first remedy. Arnica is not always sufficient if the weakness of tendon remains. Then we have to follow it with rustox. And even after rustox, if the tenderness and weakness remains, we have to follow it with calcarea carb. We are to give Arnica followed by rustox and then followed by calcarea carb, because these are the natural follow-up remedies. We are not to give these remedies on the same day or in a same glass, but when Arnica is given, we will take the maximum good out of it, and then we will follow with rustox and we will see how much change it can bring out. And then after waiting for some days, we will follow it with calcarea carb if it is not sufficient. Arnica is very useful in some chronic cases, especially in chronic gout cases. and it is very common thing for the gout to rouse up into a new soreness of joints with great sensitiveness. You see a grandfather sitting in a corner, and if he sees a little Johnny running toward him, and he will run over him and he will stop him immediately. Keep away, keep away. He is so much afraid to be hurt. He doesn't want to be approached, doesn't want to be touched, and if anything is coming toward him, he has a great fear of being hurt. So Arnica is the remedy and should be given to him. Arnica patient has aversion to meat, milk and broth. Arnica patient is thirstless, but he has great thirst in particular time, that is the chill of intermittent fever, when he is very thirsty. Arnica is very useful remedy in inflammatory conditions of abdomen, liver, intestine with prostration and tumefaction, and there is great soreness to touch. And we should not forget Arnica in cases of appendicitis. There is no need to go to surgeons for every case of appendicitis. If we know belladonna, bryonia, rustox and Arnica, we can cure many cases of appendicitis. Offensiveness is another feature of Arnica. There is offensive eructations, flatus, and stool is also horribly offensive, and involuntary stool passes during sleep. Another feature of Arnica is great sensitiveness and soreness in pregnant women. The patient feels soreness all over the abdominal viscera, especially on uterus and vaginal area. Sensitive to the motions of fetus, soreness, bruised, and she remains awake at night because of this sensitive painfulness, soreness of the movements of the fetus. It is not the increased movement of the fetus, but it is the increased sensitivity. Arnica will remove the sensitivity and she will not distinguish the motions of fetus. This is marked condition in sudden congestive attacks, in congestive chills and in congestive fevers, that head is hot and body is cold. Head is hot and the extremities are cold. Children going into severe attacks of infantile fever may threaten convulsions when head is hot and body is cold. Most of the physicians will think of belladonna when the head is hot and body is cold. But don't forget Arnica in such cases. If you observe that the child doesn't want to be touched, or whenever the mother touched the leg or the hand, the child cries out of proportion. In addition to that, if you see dusky spots on the body of the baby, then it is an additional indication for the Arnica. This is a whooping cough remedy, and the indications of the whooping cough is sore, bruised, and there is blood-streaked mucus. Child is cross and fretful, and cough is excited by crying. Paroxysms of cough at night, and child cries before the attack of cough, as from the fear of soreness. There is stitching pain in whooping cough. There is pleuritic pains in pneumonia and pleurisy. It follows aconite and is complementary to aconite, ipecac and veratrum album. Another great use of Arnica is cerebral hemorrhage, generally the first thing to use. There is a sensation in head as if head is distended from within, and sensation as if the extravasation has taken place. Some cases by M.L. Tyler. A woman got suddenly sick at night and was unable to breathe. there was stitching pain in chest, and her husband tried Bryonia, Aconite, but no relief. From the book Domestic Homeopathy, he discovered Arnica and he prescribed her Arnica, and within few moments she recovered and she fell into a deep sleep. Another case is of a doctor who was having a distressing difficulty in breathing after running 80 yards. He would wake up at night with oppression in chest, with fear and terror, and there was weakness of heart with weak pulse, heart sounds weak, and he could not go upstairs. Still he was calm, and Arnica was suggested to him and he was cured. There was another case of a lady who sprained her ankle after she fell down of the stairs, and Arnica cured her. Another case is of a doctor who was over-fatigued mentally and physically, and he has lost all his confidence and all interest in his work. He was not sure and will go again and again to check the doors and locks. Arnica 1 ml was prescribed and he was cured. A person who is easily tired and over-fatigued after days shopping. Over-fatigued always mean a bad night until he take Arnica. On one occasion, she was vaccinated with swelling on the arm with soreness, and there was swelling of the glands in armpit, and whole day she was in the town dragging down, and Arnica was given and it relieved her promptly. Arnica is capable of producing cellulitis and septic conditions, so it cured promptly. Some of us always prescribe Arnica after vaccination to relieve the pain and soreness, but it relieves the discomfort of the patient, leaving the pustule to take their usual course, whereas Thuja aborts the whole process. Another case of two little girls, 9 and 5, who were knocked down by the taxis and were brought in the hospital, and surgeon disclosed that they both are in shocked condition and they will not be able to survive. But Arnica 1 ml was prescribed and the two little girls were ready for the breakfast next morning. Arnica is a short-acting remedy but prompt. Now the role of Arnica on insect stings. If a mother tincture is applied to wasp sting, immediately the pain and swelling is relieved, and after few hours sting is forgotten. Similarly, Urtica urine is for bee sting. Now one case by E.B. Nash. He tells that he has cured one businessman who was having dyspepsia since several years, and he has to leave his business because he was unable to eat anything. He had been told by other physicians that he can never be cured. And when the history was disclosed, this condition was caused by the kick of horse upon the region of stomach. Then Arnica 200 was prescribed and he was cured permanently. Coldness of nose is very peculiar symptom of Arnica, and Dr. Clark has cured a case of facial neuralgia of left side which was swollen and very painful with this keynote. The patient was having cold nose, and on this symptom he prescribed Arnica and it cured. Clark says that Arnica has a tendency to cure tumors even serous tumors after injury or fall. Tumors in many parts after injury has been cured by Arnica, including the serous tumors of breast, and it has cured nervous affections such as chorea after fall. Now few black letter symptoms. Stupor with involuntary passage of stool and urine. Meningitis after mechanical and traumatic injuries such as fall, bruises, concussions, concussion of brain, and in such cases exudation of blood, fibrin or pus is expected. In such cases we find great sopor and paralysis of tongue, oculomotor, iris and limbs. A variety of eye troubles after injuries and blows. Retinal hemorrhages, there is quick absorption of blood. Urine very acidic and of increased specific gravity. Pulse below 60 and after moving 120. Now to sum up Arnica, we have to keep in mind few things. Recent or remote effects of injuries, chymosis, bruised and sore feeling all over. Bed feels too hard and he continuously change position. Sopor, while answering the questions or in the middle of answering he goes back to stupor. Taste and irritations are like rotten eggs, so offensive. And involuntary passage of urine and stool. Head feels hot and body and extremities cold.